Hey, what's up? This is Miss Crawford. It's been a minute. I ain't been out there to give my cup of coffee, and I've been real busy, and I get to that later. But thank you for listening. I wanted to come to you today because I had a conversation with my son, and it really floored me. A little backstory: I've been married before, 13 years in that relationship, on and off. We did 2 marriages, and it was a lot of ugliness and a lot of bitterness and a lot of wrong on both sides. Once again, there's a lot of wrong on both sides. But I remember in the relationship, me and my ex fought a lot, and I was mad and I was upset and I was bitter and I was so many things because of things that he done and I allowed to do and I stayed with and so on and so forth. But through that, my son grew up, and I always been the one that I knew all because I was different. I knew no matter what my children turned out to be, that I was going to love them if they were gay, if they were straight, if they decided to date out their race. Ryder, get your butt back up here. You know it's real when you got to call your dog. Get on up here. But nevertheless, when he was young, he would always tell me, Mom, I don't want to date a black woman. I don't want to date a black woman. I want a white woman or a Mexican. And I thought he had strong, black female features, but I was type of one, hey, long as they make you happy, I really don't care if they got green and purple spots. Well, fast forward through some time, I got divorced, got some self-healing, got some counseling, dealt with some old baggage issues, found my new husband, got into a relationship, got to healing, and I have a man that loved me properly. Once going through the healing process, once changing, and once I was loved properly, I started doing things different. I started letting go of the bitterness. I started all the arguing. I stopped all the blaming him for my mistakes. And I started healing myself and forgiving myself. And then I realized I had moved also. And as my son, year 1 went by, and year 2 went by, and year 3 went by, and he seen the difference in me. So he turned about 15, and I seen that he started to, kind of, really get into the girls and start dating and all these things. And I had noticed that it was a lot of African American girls, matter of fact, darker skinned, chocolate girls, pretty girls. And I had just asked my son, just out of curiosity, I said, I see, the girls that you've been dating, I'm glad to see that you have opened yourself up and haven't limited yourself to one race. And he was like, well, Ma, to be honest with you, I opened myself up because I seen you open yourself up. And I'm like, excuse me, what does that mean? Because I always thought that I tried to do the best for my children and all those things. But he was like, the reason I didn't want to date black women is because of you. And you know me. I was like, what? Are you serious? How is that? I was a hard worker and I made sure y'all had everything. You ain't never went hungry. I ain't never, abused y'all. And I thought I did everything that I was told. And he was like, it wasn't that. It was like when you was, married to my dad, you were always angry. And sometimes when you were angry, it just went through the day. And it was a back and forth. And sometimes, even though he might have seen the wrongs, he couldn't talk to you, and you lashed out on us sometimes. And even though you might have didn't hit us, you were upset and you were angry and all this other. The point is, all the things that, even though I didn't say anything or physically do anything, my attitude at that time, bitter, upset, whatever, I bred into my children and didn't even know that I was doing it. Wasn't even aware that I was doing it. My point of telling this story is to say this to my African American women. We really do need to change the decisions that we make and how we make them, because our children do see. And I see a lot of the younger black, African American women, and it goes back to the old African American women, older, and I say older in generational gaps, that talk about these brothers that don't want sisters in these growing up, and they always say it's about the money or they want to be white. But sometimes it's us. They mamas. They mamas is the reason why they don't want black women. See, your children see what you do behind closed doors, in front of closed doors. Your children see what you do when you trying to be petty and scheming. They see all that. Even though we don't, even when you using them against their daddy, you think they 9 and 8 and it is what it is and all that. They see all that. and they make the decision to either A, be like that, or I don't want no parts of that. I'm going to go, because that's all I know. This is the black woman, and she hang with her friends, and they do all the extra stuff, and we can go back and forth. But my point is to share my experience. And I hope people, if this is not about the other reasons, this is about an awareness that sometimes us as black women are the reason and demise of our young black men, because of the way we raise them, and we associate ourselves with people who act pretty much like us. We do that. And never once sit and think that, we don't ever go back and take responsibility. Some of us don't have. For a long time, I didn't. And I'm going to keep speaking to myself, because this is not jumping out here accusing because that's not my point. My point, and hopefully my mission, is to bring us all together, and maybe through my experiences and my failures, and because I'm able to admit my failures, this can help somebody else, or this can bring awareness to your household and what you're doing to your young black men. And I'm happy that I put myself in a position and did the necessary steps for me to get to the place that I am with myself. But I'm happy that my son had enough courage, or we'd been through enough things, that he could talk to me and tell me things like that. Because now that I tell you, maybe this video will help somebody. Just look at yourself. We need to make better decisions. Your children see what you do. So a lot of the problem why a lot of these young black males are not dating black women is because of the black mothers that's raising them. And that's not saying that you're not putting food on the table, and you're not giving them the best education or none of that, because I did that with my children. I made sure they knew their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. I made sure that they was loved. I made sure all those things. But they saw when I got into it with their father. They saw when we argue, and it was the times where I was ignorant enough to say, no, you can't get him because you don't do nothing else for him. And They saw the times where I schemed or whatever, to the extent I ain't do no crazy stuff, but all the stuff I did was wrong. When I was mad and dealing with the cheating, and I was so broken and dealing with the self-esteem issues, and I didn't want to love on my children and hug on my children and show them that it's okay to be affectionate, because I didn't know how to do that. I was too busy being mad and being depressed and allowing myself to live this life and seeing the ugliness, instead of letting my son see the beauty of a black woman, a woman that overachieves and go through things and build things up and understand what her position is, understand herself, and be an example to say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong, and I need to do something different. I want you to I want my son to see me as the queen he may want. Now, that put the limitation on the color she is? No. But it did open my eyes up to say, well, damn, I need to be more careful. Just a little bit. Well, that's my coffee for the day. I'm going to get up off here. But I hope somebody takes something from this video. I hope somebody understands that this is out here to help. If not, once again, I can't control that.